Okay, my name is Jeff Morgan. I am here, I'm kind of here with Dad Talk today, but I'm also here with about 100 people, 112 people, I think it was the count. And we're in Texas, Austin, Texas, the capital, to talk about many bills relating to shared parenting, to unilateral no-fault divorce. And but now you said that you are here with National Parent Organization. Tell us who you are, what you do, what your roles are, and why you're here.
Okay, my name is Diego Villasenor. I serve as the legislative liaison for the National Parents Organization, the chapter of Texas. And what I have found out was that there is only one person or party that's actually responsible for not passing the shared parenting legislation, and that is the Texas Family Law Foundation.
Right. Well, yeah, they have a lot of influence, don't they? Diego, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to meet you. Now, where do you live in Texas?
I live in El Paso, Texas.
Well, that's what you said. You came in.
I made the drive out here because this is such an important day. We're trying to make history happen today for the future of Texas and the future of the children of Texas.
So when did you actually leave El Paso to get here?
Yesterday in the morning.
I was going to say, this is not a very short drive.
No, it was quite a long drive. But I'm very, very happy to be here with everybody that's here, with so many various groups from different backgrounds.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And go ahead, introduce yourself, and you're going to say thank you.
Yes, of course. My name is Luisa Goribar. I'm the Women's Outreach Director for Texas for the National Parents Organization.
Okay.
And I am here because I do believe that family equality and shared parenting would solve most, if not all, of the problems that we have right now in the family court systems.
Right.
This is a very important issue because it's affecting the lives of many parents.
Right.
And especially and most importantly, it's affecting the lives of the children who are being erased at epidemic levels in the court systems. And we've been very outraged by what's happening at the borders, where children are being separated from their parents. And in reality, and sadly, it seems like we don't have the same here in the family courts. So we're here together to unite our voices, all parents, mothers and fathers and family members who are going through this situation, and friends of people who are going through this situation. We're uniting our voices so that things can change, because this has been going on for years. At least to my awareness, it's been at least for 14 years that I am aware of this problem, but I'm sure it's been for much longer. I mean, for the history of probably of the United States. So, well, I don't know.
So you said you've been aware of it for 14 years. So what first caught your attention that made you aware of this epidemic?
It was my divorce. My divorce made me realize how broken the family court system is.
Maybe you want to move in just a little bit here. Sure, there you go. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's how I learned through my own story and through my own pain and through my own struggle. I was slowly learn about many other parents, men and women who are going through the same thing. And I've always wondered why all these years there's not more change happening. So this is very important for all of us, because many of us have been struggling for this for many years, and this is a time where we feel like we're actually taking action. Right.
Yeah. So are you saying that, if I hear what you're saying, and correct me if I have any misconceptions here, you went through alienation, or tell me a little bit more about those details? Because usually people say, oh, women win all the time. They don't suffer this stuff. It's always but that's what the Texas Family Law Foundation was.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of angry men. But there was a lot of hurting women.
Oh yes, I'm going through alienation still. I'm going through right now at the stage of consequences of the alienation with the relationship with my daughter. But yes, this happens to women and men equally. Like in my situation, I dealt with false allegations and inability to afford the cost of family court, which are outrageously high. Outrageously high, because the regular citizen cannot afford a lawyer. So, and this should be a service that has to be provided to any type of person who's going through this. It shouldn't be where people have to pay for their own rights, like where their rights were violated. We have the Constitution says that we are protected by the Constitution, and we shouldn't be have to paying a high price when
for equality and justice.
For equality and justice, and especially because the Constitution says that anybody should be dealing with unusual punishments and cruelty, and this is cruelty.
This is cruelty
for both the parents and the child, who are completely separated from each other and have no power to reunite.
So it's very interesting you talk about constitutional rights. And Diego, I'm going to ask you a question about this then. Do we even have constitutional protections in family court? Because there are judges that have reported on saying, this is my court, I'm the Constitution, something along those lines. And based on what I've seen, what I've gone to court watch, what I've experienced, what I've seen other people that have told me their stories, the Constitution is almost inapplicable in family court. Is that your experience?
The judges absolutely do have a lot of discretion on what goes on.
Well, discretion can also be called abuse, but we're not going to hear tyranny. But anyway, go ahead.
They have a lot of discretion to what goes on in their courtroom, and they really don't have to answer to anybody. So whatever they want to do, they could always just say, well, I was basing it on the standard possession order, and that standard possession order, it's an automatic, almost like an alienation of the other parent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because of the percentage time that they spend with the other parent, and it makes them absent in that child's life.
So what I've heard people, we have a doctor that will be testifying down there today, Dr. David O'Connor. I don't know if he's going to talk about it today or not, but he basically said that if a parent is not involved in his children or her children's lives at least 35% of the time, that is, for all intents and purposes, an absent parent.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's basically what the policy of the standard possession order really is saying. We think that a single parent family with a visiting parent, maybe
it's a visiting parent. At best.
At best erased. At best.
Yes.
At best.
So I guess what I hear you saying is that you think that the policies in the state of Texas actually facilitate alienating behavior.
Yeah, they do.
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
And not only that, they encourage it by placing orders on whoever has more time will have more child support. They present a carrot, it's a winning. They present a win-lose situation for parents, and these long, prolonged litigation battles going to court constantly doesn't do nothing but harm the child, because it's that conflict that harms them. It's not the divorce.
Right. Well, I would say I would take a little bit of exception there, because I say it's the divorce as well. I understand the conflict part, but I talk about the issue of divorce a lot more too. But I agree that I would prefer to see families stay together.
Me too.
And work
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
I understand that there are times, but even in the situation when the divorce does take place, there is still trauma upon the children, to the parents, and everything else. And the whole world has just been destroyed. I mean, the stability that they should know of being in an intact family with their mother and their father, being able to see them probably every night, being able to say, mommy does this, daddy does this. And parents treat children differently, and that's part of what we do, right? Because I'm a male, somebody else a female, and we have different things. Children need both of that interaction.
Absolutely.
And when we take that away, we are really causing a lot of trauma on our children. So that's why I would say that, the number one issue, as you probably heard me testify earlier, to me is the no-fault divorce, the unilateral no-fault divorce, and the destruction of the American family. But then what you're also saying too, that when divorce does take place, as tragic as and unfortunate as that is, that's when it becomes even more weaponized and hurts the children and hurts the parents even more. That's what I hear you saying. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah. So, you're here for House Bill 803. How will House Bill 803 actually help in this situation?
It'll help in the situation by making the starting point at 50-50, the starting point. You could still go and you could still draw it out if you really want to fight over the children. That is your right, but it'll make the starting point 50-50 so that you don't have to go to court just to get more time.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying, and the way that I phrase this, is that you're saying that parents are on equal footing.
they're on
So
equal
it's
footing.
parental equality. And what I've been saying, and some people don't like me saying this, but I said, well, if you're parental equality, let's not just have parental equality before or after the divorce, but before you go to trial. So that way, if there's one of the parents that say, wait a minute, you know what, I understand we're having a struggle, you want a divorce, but I want to try to work things out for my family, that for my children, so that they don't feel any of this, we hope, that they can see a living example of a mother and a father working things out, that I think that one of those spouses who does not want to go through it should be able to say, wait a minute, my parental equality says I can stop this from happening, and the state cannot just force a divorce upon me. That's why I talk about the issue of unilateral no-fault divorce.
Oh, okay.
So, because unilateral basically is forced. I mean, if it's mutual, it's tragic. It should, you should still try to work things out. But when it's forced, you have another spouse who's the victim, the children that are victims, and stuff like that. That's why the other bills are there as well.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's a little bit about that. So, your idea, you want to see mothers and fathers treated equally, but because yours is a little bit different case, because usually, again, people say, well, it's all the dads are just upset. But again, you're a mother, and this is something that we need to talk about, because mothers also get treated unequally.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that in your experience of it.
In my case, I was kind of attacked my mental health. So I was, the way that I was pushed away of my daughter's life, I was treated as if I was unfit.
Right. What does the word unfit mean?
I don't know.
There's a lot of things we don't even know what the definition means.
Because I mean, I don't know. Like what I've noticed from other mothers is that it's less frequent, but it's not. It doesn't mean that it's not happening, and it's not happening in the same manner. Right. It's just we're just attacked sometimes differently. Usually with women, they attack our fitness, our mental health. I don't know what to say.
The crazy narcissist.
Really. Yeah, she's crazy. She can't deal with the child and things like that. At least that's how they. I don't know what to even.